Trump has never had an issue telling you who he hates.
I hate Taylor Swift, the former president posted in all caps.
But he hates more than just celebrities and politicians. He also hates Muslims.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
And Jewish people.
If you're Jewish, if you vote for a Democrat, you're a fool.
And minorities of all types.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black. Is she Indian or is she black?
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
He hates union workers and government employees. He hates his own former staff, even his former vice president.
We're saying hang my
Because it's common sense, John. It's common sense.
There's only one person Donald Trump loves, himself. And if he becomes president, he will waste no time showing you that he hates you too. Trump has never had an issue telling you who he hates.
I hate Taylor Swift, the former president posted in all caps.
But he hates more than just celebrities and politicians. He also hates Muslims.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
And Jewish people.
If you're Jewish, if you vote for a Democrat, you're a fool.
And minorities of all types.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black. Is she Indian or is she black?
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
He hates union workers and government employees. He hates his own former staff, even his former vice president.
We're saying hang my
Because it's common sense, John. It's common sense.
There's only one person Donald Trump loves, himself. And if he becomes president, he will waste no time showing you that he hates you too.
Hey everybody, I'm back after a much needed couple of days off, because man oh man, does politics get taxing after a while. So, what's everybody else been up to? Having a good weekend? A good Sunday Funday, as the kids like to call it? Okay, let's see. What's on the docket for today? Okay, let's start off with some lighthearted stuff, shall we? Trump's gaggle of crackpot celebrities. Let's see. Yeah, so Roseanne Barr demonstrates the exact opposite of gun safety in a new video she uploaded to somewhere. And boy oh boy, do I feel vindicated. I don't know what the hell was going on in the 90s with this woman, but like she was TV's golden girl and everybody loved her, and I feel so fucking vindicated now that she's turned into a total crackpot, because I never found her funny. I don't know what everybody was smoking in the 90s, but everybody loved this woman. And I feel so damn vindicated because I never liked her. But yeah, so here she is waving around a gun and pointing at her friggin' face with her finger on the trigger, so, you know.
Want you to show everybody, because this is really cool. Look, I show everybody who comes to my house, but I'm going to show you. It's a gun, and it's signed by President Trump right here. That's Donald Trump. And
it's a gun, and then immediately points it at her own face.
It's a really cool gun. And look at its, what do you call it, Jake, where it's etched in there, Donald Trump's face and all.
It's like laser printed. This
Laser
foam,
printed.
too.
And it says, never surrender, take America back. And ain't that cool? It cost me a pretty penny,
Just
but
finger right on the
oh yeah,
fucking
that's the
trigger.
mug shot.
There you go.
And you know, presidential seal there.
They gotta get the
And I'm in Texas, and this means a lot to me. That's where I bid a ton of dough on it. But I thought you might all enjoy seeing that, and that is true. Trump 2024, and we are never.
What is true? That his name is Trump and it's 2024?
Going to surrender. We're never going to be weak.
Except for that time where he surrendered and turned himself in to get his mugshot taken. Yeah, we're never going to surrender. Got it. Uh-huh.
We're going to go the extra mile, do what we have to do, and with God's help, we're going to win. and it's all on you. Thank you so much for.
God, well, they always got to bring God into this, huh? It's like everything they do goes against anything and everything in the Bible and Christianity as a whole, but they're just, oh yeah, let's just shoehorn God into this situation. Oh yeah, and then speaking of washed up 90s celebrities, Kevin Sorbo was on another just glorious Twitter embarrassments marathon the other day where he declared that if a celebrity telling you who to vote for sways your vote, you shouldn't be voting, says the celebrity. But yeah, it's not the first time he's done this because back in March, he literally told you to vote all Dems out. They only care about themselves, not the American people. Kinda sounds like a celebrity telling you who to vote for. If Biden wins, the country will be destroyed. Vote accordingly. So, what's this here, Kev? God, these people have the self-awareness of earthworms. Alright, what else we got on the... Oh yeah, and then... Trump was on a real one the other day and decided to, post a deep fake or AI or whatever Photoshop picture, fake picture of Kamala Harris with Diddy. I don't know, I guess implying that she hangs out with sex traffickers and, you know, I mean, has he forgotten? There are so many real pictures of Trump with Diddy. Like, this is such a weird angle for him to take. I mean, this is so stupid. Like, of all the angles that you want to take, I mean, this one, where there's like just, I don't know if he doesn't understand how the internet works, but the hell? Yeah, okay. Headphones disconnected for a second. But yeah, I mean, like, of all the angles that he could possibly take, this is the road he wants to go down. The same guy that claimed the use of AI images was election interference is now posting AI images of Kamala Harris trying to make some claim, I guess, that she, like, I don't even know what the hell he's trying to claim with that. Like, this same guy is posting non-stop AI images, like, he literally was accepting endorsements from Taylor Swift before she ever endorsed anybody because people online were posting fake AI pictures of Taylor Swift fans with shirts saying Swifties for Trump. And like, he accepted that bullshit endorsement even though she blatantly a couple weeks later came out and said that she was endorsing Kamala because Trump was posting a bunch of fake pictures of her online. Like, and then back in March, he was posting pictures of fake AI pictures of him with black people because black people can't stand them. And then he tried to do damage control by getting one of his paid operatives to hug him in a Denny's or an IHOP or something. And then it got exposed that her name's Michaela Montgomery and she's an employee of Candace Owens and works for a bunch of conservative think tanks and bullshit. So he literally couldn't even get just a random black person to hug him. He had to pay somebody to do it. And then he's posting AI pictures of himself in church because if he ever actually stepped foot in a church, he would burst into flames. And literally selling AI pictures on NFTs for $100 a pop.
This is your favorite president, Donald J. Trump, with some very exciting news. By popular demand, I'm doing a new series of Trump digital trading cards. You all know what they are. We've had a lot of fun with them. It's called the America First Collection. 50 all-new stunning digital trading cards. It's really something. These cards show me dancing and even me holding some Bitcoins.
Look at this. All AI.
Here's the best part. I'm doing great things for my...
And he's selling this shit for $100 a pop. Just unbelievable. And creation of fake images is election interference, according to him. So what the hell is all this, Donnie? All this fake shit that you keep on posting. Not to mention there's a mountain of real pictures of him with Diddy. So I don't know what the hell he was trying to claim with a fake picture of Kamala Harris with Diddy. Not to mention that he's got pictures of himself with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, he's got pictures of himself with every single sex trafficker in the book. Anton Lazaro, literally called the Minnesota's Jeffrey Epstein, who was sentenced to 21 years for sex trafficking girls as young as 15. You know, here he is with Harvey Weinstein. Here he is getting Lawrence Taylor, who is a registered sex offender, to endorse him at one of his rallies. Here he is with Matt Gaetz, who just the other day was named in court filings for sex trafficking a 17-year-old. And yeah, so it turns out that this was the one thing Kevin McCarthy was actually honest about.
You made a lot of concessions in the negotiation.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Okay, is that
Let's get to the bottom of that.
Right?
That is such a misnomer in life. Let me give you the truth about that now. And I'll give you the truth why I'm not speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle. Did he do it or not? I don't know.
Oh, but you do know, Kevin. See, even when he is telling the truth, he can't be totally honest. But yeah, so turns out that it was true, and the 17-year-old is now, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, he was named in court filings. I think that's like a larger case that he was just named in, but yeah, and things aren't looking great for old Matt Gaetz there, but yeah, no, there's Trump with Matt Gaetz, Lawrence Taylor, Harvey Weinstein, Anton Lazaro, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and Diddy. All real pictures, by the way, no AI necessary. But, you know, Trump loves to blame everything on AI these days.
Blaming it on AI with no evidence, that's another. It's a relatively new excuse we're seeing, right? But one that Donald Trump himself has begun using. Remember this photo of Trump with E. Jean Carroll? Trump said it was AI.
I never met the woman other than this picture, which could have been AI generated.
When Democrats played a montage of Trump's lapses at the Robert Hur hearing, Trump also claimed it was AI, posting, quote, AI, quote, was used by them against me in their videos of me. Can't do that, Joe. There was even a harmless photo of red marks on Trump's hands. Trump, when asked, suggested it was also AI.
You didn't see the photos coming out of Trump Tower?
No.
There was, okay.
What was wrong with that?
The other one. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to tell us what happened with the hand?
Nothing. Maybe it's AI.
And then sometimes you can falsely blame your opponents of using AI. Remember this crowd for the Harris campaign? Large turnout. Trump yet again attributed it to AI, saying, quote, there was nobody at that plane and she AI'd it. Now it's a verb. But Trump won't be able to blame AI for his endorsement of Robinson. So how will he handle it tomorrow is the big question everyone's asking. Well, the New York Times reports that, quote, people close to him anticipate that he will deliver a version of a comment he has made about countless supporters or former aides. Hardly knows the guy.
Yeah, so speaking of Robinson, actually, there's an update to that story too, where he's now claiming that I guess that's the go-to conservative response for everything now, is anytime they get caught doing something stupid, they're gonna blame it on AI.
There's been over $1 million spent on me through AI by a billionaire son who's bound and determined to destroy me. The things that people can do with the internet now is incredible. But what I can tell you is this. Again, these are not my words. This is simply tabloid trash.
Yeah, But that was instantly debunked by this tech bro on Twitter that apparently spends his spare time. Oh, jeez, don't go back there. I got it open already. Spends his spare time tracking down, what do you say here? Speaking as a tech nerd who has, among other things, tracked down a self-deletion threat on the internet using similar techniques as the CNN story, it's unquestionably him. You can't deepfake or AI backdated content like this. All the details check out. This is a massive indictment of the North Carolina Democrats' lack of opposition research. I can't stress how easy this info was to find and verify. Dude had used this same username across multiple internet sites for close to 20 years. Any motivated techie could have found this in a short time. The level of just pure grossness and perversion in his posts is breathtaking and will likely never be seen or known by a significant chunk of the Republican voters. Explicit stuff with the foulest language about golden showers, threesomes with his sister's wife, or his wife's sister, and nasty, yeah. So, like, I mean, we all know it's bullshit that it's AI, but I mean, debunked by tech bros, and I mean, his supporters wouldn't care even if they even if they did know. I mean, let's be honest, they all live in a bubble where no facts ever get in anyway, so they don't care. I mean, he literally admitted to having to paying for an abortion, and his dipshit supporters at the rally yesterday were saying that they still are going to support him.
I'm very sorry to hear about it. It's sad to hear, but I feel like he's still the better choice over Mr. Stein. Mr. Stein is very much like our current governor. He has not supported the rights of the unborn. That's a big thing to me. I will still be voting for Robinson.
This isn't like some leaked thing. This was an ad that he posted admitting that he paid for an abortion.
30 years ago, my wife and I made a very difficult decision. We had an abortion. It was like this silent pain between us that we never spoke of.
It's something that stays with you forever.
That's why I stand by our current law.
Do I want to continue to lower it? You better know it. I would like to get down to 6 weeks. I'd like to get down to 0 weeks. Amen. I would like to push it back as far as we could and eliminate as many abortions as we can. But we can't do it all at once.
Yeah, but you know, that's the pro-life guy, according to this lady. I mean, they live in a bubble. They live in a bubble where facts don't exist. These people are so delusional. What next? Oh yeah, speaking of dumb Trump supporters, let's go see how the violent rhetoric toning down is going on at the latest Trump rally. Let's see.
So we've got some signs here at the Trump rally. Everyone's talking about toning down the rhetoric. We also have some other ones like I hate Taylor Swift, some other things Donald Trump has said. So we're going to see which ones are more popular with Trump supporters here. Hey guys, we're giving out free signs. We've got tone down the rhetoric, and then we've got lock up Kamala.
You want to lock up Kamala? Yeah. Or could you want to tone down the rhetoric sign?
Yeah, that's
no.
Down.
You want to lock up Kamala?
Lock up Kamala. Yeah.
Okay. Not.
Like, lock her up for what? For what? She's a former prosecutor that's never committed a crime in her life. Your guy is convicted of 34 felonies, fraud, tax evasion. Like, what exactly are we locking up Kamala for? Just because she dares to go against the dear cult leader of yours? Like, what? These people are insane.
The tone down the rhetoric?
No. Tone down the rhetoric is one of them, and then we've got they're eating cats and dogs, which is the unfounded claim that Trump was saying. You want that one? The cats and you want they're eating cats and dogs? Yeah. There hasn't been any proof of that yet. but he did say it at the debate.
Tone down the rhetoric.
See, that's the one. That's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell?
Yeah.
Why is it hard?
Turn up the rhetoric.
We have I hate Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the one you want? Here you go.
Yeah, I think it's 50 though.
But you don't want to tone down the rhetoric?
We thought the tone down the rhetoric was going to be the popular one, but people wanted they're eating cats and dogs, which is like kind of like crazy rhetoric.
Do you want to tone down the rhetoric one?
No, she wants to.
You don't want to tone down the rhetoric one. Okay, here you go.
I don't know. I think we might have given away the last Taylor Swift one. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, would you rather just tone down the rhetoric? You don't want to tone down the rhetoric? Oh, okay.
You don't want to tone down the rhetoric? No. Like, dude, fuck these people. Absolute hypocrites, man.
I want to lock up Kamala and a tone down the rhetoric.
Really?
Yeah.
You want to lock up Kamala and tone down the rhetoric sign?
Yes.
Okay.
Lock her up and then tone down the rhetoric. Like, oh my god. And look at that fucking hat. What is this? Who makes this shit?
Okay, so tone down the rhetoric. Okay. But then what were you saying about Kamala?
She's committed treason against our country.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Get this woman to define the word treason. I will pay you $1 million. God, these people just repeat the same stupid shit that Trump says. No, like, there isn't a single original thought rattling around in that hollow head of hers. Alright, what else we got? This is just a perfect summary of the current Republican Party here. Destiny sums them up in 2 minutes, and it's just glorious.
Yeah, I think that right now, I think one of the most important things in America, and I think for the world...
Jeez. Wrong page here.
Yeah, I think that right now, I think one of the most important things in America, and I think for the world, is that we all kind of get back on the same page factually about stuff that's actually happened. So I think supporting Harris is important for a few key reasons. And I think the first one is that right now, the Conservative Party in the United States is completely and totally divorced from any type of factual reality. I think that the Democrats, whether you agree or disagree with their policies, are at least more in the real world than the Republicans are. If you want, you can look through the Dominion lawsuit against Fox News, where Fox News literally says over and over again, we're going to lie about the Dominion machines. They do lie about the Dominion machines. The reason why they do that is to keep up with the other false conservative media that's lying about the Dominion machines. And you can see this over and over and over again, whether it's all of the allegations of voter fraud, where Sidney Powell and Giuliani have said that they lied about it.
Rudy Giuliani is conceding that he made false statements about Georgia election workers.
That's right. In a court filing, he does not dispute falsely claiming 2 of those workers committed ballot fraud during the 2020 presidential election.
Whether it's Trump pushing voter fraud claims that he has been told over and over again are not true. That conservatives are no longer based in reality is a huge threat to really the world, because it makes it so we can't live in the same reality, so we can't even discuss policies, and instead we're wasting all of our time debating conspiracies. You compare Donald Trump's, saying we're going to do something about China to Biden passing the CHIPS Act because he was able to actually be an effective leader and get Congress to legislate an actual bill. Or if you look at how the Democrats tried to tackle the border problem, where they had a bill and Trump shot it down because he wants to keep the border open for election season. I think it's clear that the Democrats win when it comes to actual policy. And I think Donald Trump as an individual is an abhorrent, amoral, un-American, unpatriotic, treasonous person who tried to weaponize the DOJ. He tried to create fake slates of electors in order to overturn the electoral vote. He basically chair-led violence on January 6th to try to pressure legislators to not certify the vote. And he tried to subvert the peaceful transfer of power, only leaving when, at multiple stops, there were other people inside of the administration that basically stopped his attempt to, take over power in the United States to prevent the actual outcome of the last election from coming to fruition. So I think that Harris is a very, very easy choice over Trump, basically no matter which way you look at it. But yeah, that's my argument. Yeah, I think that right now, I think
that could not be a more perfect summary of today's modern Republican Party. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else you need to add in there, but I mean, it's not gonna sway any Republicans. But if you're outside of the cults, it should be pretty compelling. I mean, not a single thing he said there was factually inaccurate. Oh yeah, speaking of Republicans, let's see, what are they doing now? Oh, that's right, trying to steal the election. Again. So, Texas purged about 500,000 eligible voters from voter rolls. Nebraska potentially changing its electoral count to winner take all, so they all go red. Georgia is requiring 5 to 6 million votes be counted by hand. Red states have closed more than 10,000 polling locations in Black and Latino neighborhoods. This is how Republicans are organizing to steal the election. Yup. And Lindsey Graham is heading the lobbying effort to get Nebraska to change from the current electoral thing. And by the way, this is like 6 weeks before the election that they're trying to do all this shit, trying to change the rules so that they're splitting the vote between the electoral college. So that way, instead of, so now it's going to be like they're trying to get it so it's a winner take all thing. So if you get one, like whoever wins the state, I guess the popular vote in the state, all those electoral votes will go to whoever wins that state. And it's Nebraska, so obviously Trump's going to win the popular vote in Nebraska. I mean, it's a deep red state.
For years. It is a very close election. 63 days ago, Chuck Schumer led a coup to overthrow Joe Biden.
Oh my God, was I on the wrong page this entire time? Yes, I was. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Texas has purged about 500,000 eligible voters from the voter rolls. Nebraska potentially changing its electoral count to winner take all, so they all go red. Georgia is requiring 5 to 6 million votes to be counted by hand. Red states have closed more than 10,000 polling locations in Black and Latino neighborhoods. Blatantly, all this is literally less than 2 months out from the election that they're doing this. By the way, that's not even counting the 37 million voters that they've purged from voter rolls in the last 4 years, majority of which are Democrats. But Lindsey Graham is leading the push for Nebraska to change the way they count the votes in the Electoral College. Apparently, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham visited Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen, Secretary of State Bob Envin, and about 24 other Republican legislators to discuss how the state allocates its voter rolls. It appears as though Lindsey is trying to get them to move away from splitting their electoral college votes and going to a winner-takes-all system. 6 weeks out from the election. No election interference there.
For years. It is a very close election. 63 days ago, Chuck Schumer led a coup to overthrow Joe Biden, and he's telling me or any other Republican what we should be doing. If they change the law in Nebraska, it won't be on the phone in the middle of the night. It will be through a democratic process. The entire federal delegation of Nebraska, House members and 2 senators, want this change. To my friends in Nebraska, that one electoral vote could be the difference between Harris being president or not, and she's a disaster for Nebraska and the world.
I hear you're calling it a coup. Of course, Democrats have the right to change who's at the top of their ticket.
So does Nebraska.
Very quickly, before we get to the Middle East, what do you think the chances are? What's the over-under that this change actually happens in Nebraska?
50-50, down to 2 people.
Okay.
It's 50-50, but the whole federal Nebraska coalition wants it. Now, how does that work? The math ain't mathin' there, Lindsey. But yeah, they're also trying to change the rules in Georgia to have the votes be required to be counted by hand, which, I mean, the only thing that's going to do is delay certification. I mean, it's just blatantly trying to delay the certification of the vote.
Out in Georgia, and it's now creating serious fears that we'll have a drawn-out vote count that could possibly take weeks to resolve. Weeks to resolve. Now, it was narrowly passed by allies of Donald Trump, who control the state's election board. And the rule would actually require a hand count, you heard me right, a hand count of all ballots cast on Election Day in Georgia. Now, close to 5 million people voted in Georgia in 2020, so you do the math on the timing of that hand count. Even top Republicans across Georgia say it's a bad idea and likely illegal. but it fits with what's been going on there. The tug of war over voting has been escalating literally for years now, in a place that Trump lost in 2020 by less than 12,000 votes. Georgia, you recall, once made it a crime to hand out food and water to people who were waiting in line to vote. It's also where Republicans tried to limit early voting on Sundays. And of course, you remember it was ground zero for 2020 election conspiracy theories spread by Donald Trump and his allies like Rudy Giuliani. Now, the state's election board appears to be picking up the mantle with this latest controversial move. To run you through how it would work. So Georgia will have around 2,400 voting precincts this year. Now, the rule says 3 people per precinct will hand count the ballots and then compare that number to the number recorded by the voting machines. Now, if you do the math on this, and I have, that means more than 7,000 poll workers would be involved. So you've got to make sure there's enough of those workers. You got to train those workers. You got to tell them they have to work hours on end, with just weeks until Election Day. And the officials who've been begging the board to reverse course say it is a recipe for disaster.
And just so you know, I've actually done this shit job before, and counting ballots by hand is almost impossible to get right. I mean, like, after you get into the hundreds, you're guaranteed everybody, every single person there made a mistake. We're supposed to start over, but like, there's just nobody actually does it. So you're definitely 1,000% not getting an accurate count when you count them by hand.
If I were to hand this stack of paper to 3 random people in this room, especially at the end of a long voting day, and ask them to arrive at the same total number, do we think that's feasible? People doing a hand count are going to make mistakes, which can then be exploited to spread lies and sow further distrust in our elections and our election officials.
I challenge you to go into any county in the state of Georgia and to do the rules that you're passing on today. Work as a poll worker all day and then count the ballots. You can't even make this up. The world is watching what we do here today.
What could possibly go wrong? Now, Trump's allies in the election board say they're just adding an extra layer of security, that's all. But Georgia's Republican Attorney General says the judges may block the rule if it actually is challenged. And he argued that it exceeds the board's authority to even do this. And a familiar defender of Georgia's elections, Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, he calls the timing of this rule, well, absurd. Sounds a lot like how he described, really, the board itself.
Do you feel like what's happened in the state election board is a direct result of the aftermath of the 2020 election and some of the election lies that were brought on?
You'd have to ask in each of them. All really I've said is that the state election board is a mess.
Yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. So yeah, like I keep saying, and I'm gonna keep saying, go and make sure that you're registered to vote. Double check, triple check, quadruple check, or just vote early if you can, because they are trying to interfere with the election, and they're purging Democrats at insane numbers, 37 million so far. Just double check. In Texas, a good old AG, Ken Paxton, filed a lawsuit to stop the largest Democratic county in Texas from making voting convenient. The state spent years driving up the number of hours voters in Democratic counties had to wait in line to cast a ballot. They were about to let voting become they weren't about to let voting become painless. Yeah, no shit. Of all the Harris County, a population of 4.7 million, a ballot drop-off locations, one for 4.7 million people. They all gotta go to one spot. You know, like, they are trying to interfere with this election. You gotta do a handful of due diligence. Bare minimum. Just check to make sure that you're still on the voter rolls, okay? Because this is insane. This is 6 weeks out from the election that they're doing this. Anyway, so what else we got here? Republicans' new way to try to steal the election. Oh yeah, Olivia Nuzzi. So apparently, New York Magazine on Thursday said that its Washington correspondent, Olivia Nuzzi, is on leave after learning the Star journalist had allegedly engaged in a romantic relationship with RFK Jr. This girl is 31. Like, am I missing something here? What is it with gorgeous women and this guy? He's married to Cheryl Hines. I mean, like, what is it? What does it for you, ladies? I mean, is it the anti-vax conspiracies, the fact that his entire family said he'd make a horrible president and endorse Joe Biden instead, the joking about eating a dog, getting 83 people killed in Samoa, having part of his brain eaten by worms, flying around with Epstein, his own campaign director blatantly admitting on camera that he's trying to throw the election for Trump, him picking up a dead bear and off the road and playing with it and then letting it rot in the back of his car, and then trying to frame a cyclist for killing it, him cutting off the head of a dead whale and driving around with it across state lines that he's currently being investigated for now. Like, I mean, clearly she has a type. I mean, her ex-fiance now, after this, is Ryan Liza, who's 50, so 20 years older than her, and she cheated on him with a guy that's 20 years older than him. Like, she clearly has a type. She's disgusting old men, but like, I mean, really, what does it for you, ladies? Is it the crazy COVID vaccine conspiracies?
It's the product of a pharmaceutical-driven biosecurity agenda that will enslave the entire human race and plunge us into a dystopian nightmare.
Yep. I know, I sure feel like I'm enslaved. Hey, you know those other 5 billion people that took the vaccine? Don't you guys all feel enslaved right now? You know, 4 years out. I mean, when is this post-apocalyptic hellscape supposed to kick in? I mean, any timeline on that, or just, you know, sit and wait? And then, oh yeah, then he texted an apology to the nanny he sexually assaulted. You know, so just stand-up guy there. Here's him joking about eating a dog. Apparently, this is a lamb. I mean, jury's still out on that one, but, you know. And then him getting 83 people killed in Samoa. That's another tidbit that not too many people know about.
How many cases of measles were in Samoa between, say, 1986 and 2019?
I have no idea.
Right, okay, I've got that. 1986, 1 case of measles. 93, 7. 2005, 0. 2006, 0. 2009, 0. And in 2019, there were 5,707 measles cases. Do you know what happened in 2019?
Yeah, I'm aware there was a measles outbreak, but I didn't have anything, you know, I had nothing to do with people not vaccinating in Samoa. I never told anybody not to vaccinate. I didn't, you know, go there for any reason to do with that.
One News has learned of a high-level anti-vax meeting just before this deadly measles outbreak, a meeting between vaccination critic Robert Kennedy Jr. and anti-vax blogger Taylor Winterstein, publicising her meeting with the high-profile Kennedy as profoundly monumental for her movement.
This so-called anti-vaxxer, Edwin Tamasese, he had promoted the use of vitamin C to cure the disease.
During the country's 2-day mass measles vaccination drive last week, he posted, "I'll be here to mop up your mess, enjoy your killing sprees."
But the government is fighting back.
Edwin Tamasese is now under arrest, charged with incitement against a government.
Yeah, so, you know, 83 people got killed because of that idiot and his fucking anti-vax bullshit. Yeah, so, then he got, I don't know, diagnosed with brain worms, apparently, that ate part of his brain, which I guess, I mean, kinda gives him a bit of an excuse for being such a crazy whack job. I believe there's a picture of, yeah, here he is, Dr. Robin Williams, extracting some of the brain worms from his head there. There we go. And then, oh yeah, just palling around with sex traffickers and all the shittiest people that you could possibly think of.
Jeffrey Epstein's jet, were you?
I was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet 2 times. I was on it in 1993, and I was on it and I went to Florida with my wife and 2 children to visit my mom over.
By the way, that was after the flight logs were released and showed his name on it, so it's not like he's just offering up that information willy-nilly.
Yeah. So, and you run into everybody in New York. I mean, I knew Harvey Weinstein. I knew Roger Ailes. I knew O.J. Simpson came to my house. Bill Cosby came to my house.
Yeah, so just the best guys that he hangs out with. And oh yeah, and then there was this tidbit from I believe like March or April where his campaign director blatantly admitted on camera that their plan the entire time was to throw the election in favor of Trump.
End of the day, but so there's no Biden voters in the House, right? No. Okay, good. Things, I guess, will change over time because you do have to only pick one candidate at the end of the day. But the Kennedy voter and the Trump voter, the enemy, our mutual enemy is Biden. Since Biden is counting on us with Bobby in the mix, my thought is for the Republicans. See, Bobby right now, he's pulling from both sides. Right now, he's actually pulling a little bit more from Biden, which explains why the DNC is kind of ganging up on him. They have a special committee to go after independent candidates. Yeah, they say independent candidates, like non-affiliated candidates, they really mean Bobby, because Bobby's the only third party that anybody's taking seriously. So they
And then there was the playing with roadkill obsession that he has, where he's just gotta scoop up the. And by the way, I mean, this story, like, this was another one that he just tried to do damage control because the reporter that was doing the story reached out to him for comment, so he knew that the story was about to come out, so he released this crazy video with Roseanne Barr, of all people, where he goes over the details of what he claims happened, and I'm calling, like, bullshit on about 50% of it. Where, yeah, he claims somebody else killed the bear, and he just picked it up because he wanted to eat it, and, you know, just had to play with it first, and, take a bunch of stupid pictures, and then he left it rotting in the back of his car for a day or two, and, you know, decided to try and frame a cyclist for killing it by planting a bike next to it and make it look that like I don't know, somebody ran it over with a bike. But yeah, you know, that was another one of his playing with dead animal instances that has nothing on this other story where he's now currently being investigated for beheading a whale and driving around with it on his car across state lines, which is a crime, by the way.
The bear story has got nothing on the whale story. Just this week, a decade-old profile of RFK's daughter, Kik, resurfaced, where she recounts an incident from her childhood. RFK got word there was a dead whale washed up on Hyannisport Beach, and so naturally he raced over there with a plot to take a souvenir, and Kennedy cut the dead whale's head off with a chainsaw, and then he took the decapitated whale head and he bungee corded it to the roof of the family minivan and drove 5 hours back to New York with his family in the car. As his daughter remembers it, and I'm going to try to get through this passage, every time he accelerated on the highway, whale juice would pour into the windows of the car. It was the rankest thing on the planet. We all had plastic bags over our heads with mouth holes cut out.
So yeah, just normal stuff there. Yeah, you know, just, you know, I can't imagine why his own family thinks that he would be a horrible pick for president, and they all ended up endorsing Joe Biden instead. Yeah, no idea why they would think that. But, you know, just normal Republican stuff. And don't even try and give me that he's a libertarian. I mean, libertarians these days are literally just Republicans that have one or two Democrat friends that they don't want to alienate, so they just call themselves libertarians. Like, oh, I'm just in the middle, you know? Like, no, these cowards are all Republicans, okay? Like, if you, he's so libertarian that he immediately dropped out of the race after begging Kamala for a cabinet position, and when she said fuck off, he went and ran over to Trump. So yeah, that's how libertarian he is. Anyway, what else we got on the list here? Oh yeah, Israel update. So apparently after, all Hezbollah's tech has started blowing up around them, they can't use pagers, cell phones, walkie-talkies, or anything else. Apparently now they have to do all their communicating by, I guess in person, and it's not going too well that way either, because I guess on Thursday or something, they took out 14 of Hezbollah's top commanders in one airstrike that kind of looks like a nuclear bomb, personally.
مثل ما هي لايف.
Yeah, so big boom. And apparently took out Hezbollah's top guys. So Hezbollah's been having a rough week. Thanks to the good old IDF just laying into them. Well, I don't know. Maybe stop firing rockets over the border at them, and they'll treat you nicer. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, what else we got on the list here? Yeah, so I think that just about covers it. I wanted to do a earlier stream, so we're not streaming middle of the night like usual. Sunday Funday stream. Let's I don't know, do something a little bit more fun here. What else we got? Oh, connections. Yeah, yesterday I nailed connections and Wordle in under a minute, so I kind of want to see if I can do that again. That was like a personal record for me. Probably not ever going to happen again, since it never happened before, but let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Pastel, pool, suntan, sculpture, print, third, neutral, drawing, new, alloy, open, neon, lottery, save, grayscale, raffle. Print, pastel, grayscale, pool, non-pool. Okay, so pastel, drawing, print, grayscale? Maybe sculpture, artistic thing. Let's try grayscale. Nope, okay. Not even one away there. Drawing, sculpture. Yeah, let's try something else here. Neutral. Grayscale, neutral. Alloy neon, maybe? Suntan, pool. Oh, man. Yeah, definitely not going to be doing them both in under a minute today. Sculpture, drawing. I feel like this has something to do with colors. Grayscale, neutral, neon. Maybe alloy? Or pastel. Probably maybe pastel. Yeah, there we go. Color types. Haha. Cool. Cool. Suntan. Sculpture. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157 158 159 Sculpture? No. Oh, wait a second. New, save, open, print. Those are like things you can do on a computer. File menu options. Yep, knew it. Saw that one. Third, alloy, pool, sunburn, drawing. Okay. Got sculpture, drawing. Oh, I see. Pool, raffle, lottery, drawing. There we go. Chance to win a prize. Third, alloy, sculpture, suntan. Let's see if we can guess what this is before they tell us, because I can't see a connection here. Suntan, sculpture, alloy in third. Yeah, I have no idea. Just tell me. What bronze might mean. Oh, you douche. Oh well, still pretty good. Not as good as yesterday, but let's put those in the thing here and head over to the Wordle. Start with our go-to starter word. There's always some letters in there. Penis. Yeah, I told you, there's always one, at least one. So we got an E. C. Okay, we got an A, so we got EA. EA. Yeah. I think we just need to get rid of a couple more letters here. Let's just get rid of some letters. Okay, we got a C and an H. Okay, the H are just, okay, so we got teach, probably. Boom. Feel like we could have done that in 3, but still pretty good. Okay. Yeah, so we got any more, what's in the live stream topics here? Feel like we covered everything. Another RFK scandal. Trump posts fake pictures. Republicans try to steal the election. Gaggle, crackpot celebrities. Violent rhetoric. Hezbollah. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, well, this has been fun. Little early Sunday Funday stream. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, and all that noise. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and you know, oh, why didn't I get a notification? Hello from probably way too long ago. Oh boy. Either way, yeah, so I'm gonna try and do these a little bit earlier. I mean, don't know how much luck I'm gonna have with that, but I'm gonna try and get in here before 10 o'clock. I think we did good today, you know, 3, finishing nice and early. Oh well, whatever. Like